Jake was the greatest nephew you could ever ask for.
I'm Jake's older sister, Jenna.
I am Sam Zeller, Jake Zeller's twin brother.
I'm Mike Otten. I'm Jake's uncle.
He was 8 years younger than me, so I was 8 when he was born, and there was such a larger gap between him and I, the twins and I, that he was like my little baby. So I have an older brother, Steven, who's 2 years older than I am, and when they came home, my mom basically said, Sam is Steven's and Jake is Jenna's. So the J's stuck together and the S's stuck together. So Jake was my guy. And I definitely was like the older sister, the little mom. And we had some really fun times together. And he was my little baby.
It's always funny. Always laughing, making people laugh. Whether he was 5 or whether it was the day before he died, Jake could talk to anybody. He could talk to a 5-year-old, he could talk to a 95-year-old, and whoever he was conversing with felt like they were the most important person in the world at that moment, because what they had to say mattered to Jake.
Some of the times at Mizzou where my dad would come up and visit us, and Jake and my dad would kind of be like the bouncers at the party and sit on the stoop outside and people watch and kind of just security, be the blanket security of the party. So it was always fun. You'd always see those two outside having a beer, hanging out.
What happened in 2013?
Life changed.
2013 was a nightmare.
The world kind of stopped.
It went from a perfect life, like my idea of perfection. Happy parents, happy brothers, happy family, and like everything was right in the world. And then December 8th happened and everything changed.
That we found out that he was no longer with us, that he had died by suicide. That was the worst day of our lives.
7 o'clock came around and I get a text I don't ever want to see ever again from a friend of his in Oklahoma City. And it was at that moment I knew, things had changed forever. We didn't find out until around 1:30 or 2 a.m. probably that night what had happened, but I knew at 7 or 8 o'clock that night that something wrong had happened. So it was one of those days you that sticks with you and it haunts you for the rest of your life.
And you just realize that life's not safe. You can't think that everything's going to just be perfect all the time, and that was hard. That was hard to take because he was such a wonderful guy, and for such a big part of your life to just be gone in like a split second. Devastating. I would tell him multiple things. I think I would punch him first, hug him. I miss you. And I love you. And we all loved you so much. And can't wait to see you.
Thank you for all that you did when you were here, for the love that you've shown my children, and for the courage that you've given me to tell your story over and over and over again to help save lives. Thank you.
That I'm there for you. No matter what, you weren't backed into a corner, you had help. And I'm there. I'm just there for you.
Living my best life. Living my best life. This house is now a litany. Things I thought I'd never be. Man who has opinions on an ottoman, among other things. I used to think I'd missed the road, the crushing fame, the sold out shows. And I just sing head, shoulders, knees and toes like I'd forgotten them. But I'm alive, and baby, I'm thriving. Oh yeah, I'm living my best life. I wake up with the sunrise. It does not look a thing like I thought that it would, but I've been getting my steps in, and I sleep with my best friend. It's the best that it has been in a long time. I'm living my best life.
Since 2013, Team JAKEY and our supporters have been flipping the script on suicide. We've taken our grief and used it to engage with our community and end the stigma surrounding suicide and mental health. One of the very first community outreach events Team JAKEY held was Sip Away the Stigma, co-hosted by Four Hands Brewery Company and Second Shift Brewery. We had a panel of individuals from the food and beverage industry share their stories, their struggles with mental health, and how they navigated through them. The event was an amazing, eye-opening opportunity for not just the panel, but those listening to get up and share their own unique struggles. Many tears were shed, but it gave people a platform to speak up about mental health. Over the last few years, we've also begun shedding light on mental health and suicide with our local area schools. It's no secret that mental health and suicide are increasingly hot-button issues among children, teens, and young adults.
Team JAKEY has always been a way for us to keep his name alive and for more people to have ever known him than knew him in his life. So that is one thing we did. We formed Team JAKEY in early 2014 after seeing that the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention hosted an Out of the Darkness walk in the fall. We joined the walk hoping that just a group of friends and family could get together and we could walk in his memory. And it became very quickly so much more.
So that first year, in about 10 days, we put together the inaugural Gentleman Jake Memorial Cornhole Tournament. We raised $2,900. We had about 75 people there for that first event. And within an hour of ending, we immediately started planning the next year's tournament. We knew it was something that we would have to do every year. So this year will be our 9th Gentleman Jake Memorial Cornhole Tournament. And the tournament itself has raised a little over $200,000 to date.
Ain't got nothing left to prove, man, I'm finally free. Damn, it feels good to be me. You're only shining when you act yourself. Wish I could've learned that before I went through hell. Lord, I was trying to flip the cards I was dealt. I was tired of hiding, I had some words with myself. I said stop trying to be the things that I'm not, trying to be like everyone else, trying to fit inside of that box. Oh, you got magic inside of your heart, had it right from the start. Copycat is dirty, nothing worse than being thirsty. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I'm no good at being you, my philosophy. Damn, it feels good to be me. Ooh, ah, ooh,
And we've always leaned on our participants, our donors, our friends, and I want to thank them for doing what they've done for us and supporting us.
We couldn't do what we do without the support of those sponsors and donors. They allow us to give a voice to people who are struggling to find their own. It helps us give the message that talking saves lives.
And through years, 8 years later, we have really formed this wonderful community of people that are willing to support the cause and that want to speak honestly about mental health and invite us to speak on behalf of all those people who struggle. And in Jake's memory, it's something that we can really not ever think of anything more for his legacy. He was such a positive, wonderful, witty guy here on earth, and for his legacy to be so positive and to reach thousands of people is something that our family is so proud of, and we're so proud of Jake and what he gives us the strength to do each and every day in his memory.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please do not hesitate to reach out. Team JAKEY is here to support those in need. We strive to provide resources, promote overall mental well-being, and to listen attentively to those struggling to find their voice. We believe that talking truly saves lives. So reach out and start a conversation.